so much. I love you so much. I love you so much. I love you so much.
Hello, all you positive heads out there. Thanks for tuning your beautiful brainwaves into another episode of the Positive Head Podcast, where we are firmly convinced that creating success and happiness is rooted in understanding the ultimate nature of reality, and the fact that as human beings, we are all immensely powerful fractals of the one and only source consciousness which creates and animates all things. After years of exploring this awe-inspiring truth on this podcast, I'm super excited to announce that we are now going even deeper down the rabbit hole on the new late-night style consciousness-elevating talk show called Optimistic, which features none other than you, the listeners. Optimistic is taped out of the epic spaceship-esque 8-bedroom property we call the Mystic Manor that myself and the rest of the Optimistic crew now navigate reality from in Venice Beach, California. And you are invited to come experience a Mystic Manor immersion week with us. During your week-long stay, you'll enjoy unique workshops, chef-prepared meals, one-on-one time coaching and consulting with me, and even co-creating magic with me as a guest on both Optimistic and an episode of the Positive Head podcast. When I started this, my aim with these immersive retreats was to facilitate the ultimate spiritual upgrade and tune-up, so to speak, for our guests while providing them with one of the most memorable experiences of their lives. And I'm happy to say that as of this recording, every guest at the end of their trip so far has told me that they have had a profound and transformational experience at the Mystic Manor and that they definitely want to come back. All that being said, we only have a limited number of spots available between now and next July. And as of this recording, about half of those spots are already filled. So if there's any part of you that is screaming, yes, I want to come, I feel like I need to be there, go now and book a slot with me to discuss how we can put our heads together and make it happen at calendly.com/talkwithbrandon. I know for some people there is also that little voice in their head saying, why not? I can't get off work. I can't afford it, and on and on and on. But, really Henry Ford, I think, said it best. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. And I'm confident that where there's a will, there's a way. And I'm personally committed to doing everything in my power, including discounts and payment plans, to get you here if it is something that truly feels like a huge yes for you energetically and like you're meant to be here. Once again, the link to book time to discuss with me is calendly.com/talkwithbrandon. That's spelled calendly.com/talkwithbrandon. All one word, of course. And book in some time and look forward to seeing you soon here at the Mystic Manor. All right, all you positive heads. Here we go again. It is a magical Monday here in the studio, and I am blessed, happy, thrilled to say I'm not alone. I have my new bestie here, Athena Taylor. Athena, welcome.
Thank you. It's such an honor to be here. It's really exciting, and I want to thank your listeners for letting me in the space today.
What's crazy is this time a week ago, I didn't know Athena, and it's been quite the unfolding and journey thus far. It definitely feels like a person that's come into my life, soul contract, sort of thing like you hear me talk about all the time. So I guess, Athena, maybe we'll just, as I don't know if I've even shared with you, I like to just share on the show what's unfolding in real time in my life, what lessons can be learned from it. And, as far as, what was it, Wednesday that you walked in, last Wednesday, you walked into the Mystic Manor with our mutual good friend Kim Boda, who helps to facilitate the Mystic Manor retreats. You guys have both worked closely with Dr. Joe Dispenza, and Kim comes every week and and actually, does some teaching from Dr. Joe's work. And so Athena here came and actually just wanted to come and watch her friend Kim and hang out. Well, here's what's cool about it, everyone. So I just released the trailer for Optimistic an hour, 2 hours max earlier. I pushed it out to the world, and it was like giving birth to a baby. It was, as you guys know, it's been, really January 1st, 9 months leading up to the birth of the trailer. And if you guys haven't seen the trailer yet, go to optimistic.tv. It's there posted now. It turned out, I couldn't be happier with the way it turned out. And let me add to that, if you're interested in coming to the Mystic Manor, go to calendly.com/talk with Brandon, and you can set up a call with me. We still have some spots available. But anyway, so I release the trailer to the world, and then in my head, Athena, it's like, okay, next on my task list, I've given birth to the baby, and next on my task list is to go out and shop it to networks, the Netflix and HBOs of the world, sponsors, a lot of cost associated with producing the show and this spaceship of a property that we're sitting in right now. So I need more sponsorship, calling in more sponsorship, and investors, and hopefully a combination of all three, or potentially all three, depending, whatever's in the highest and best. And so literally 2 hours later, you walked in, and I'm just like, okay, who is this? Who is this like fairy godmother, sort of like a very definitely a lot of sharp energy, and I'm just like instantly drawn. And so we start talking, and there's a lot of people coming through the house pretty regularly. So a lot of times I don't even drop in with people. It's like, hi, bye, I'm out of here. I got lots to do. And with you, of course, I felt very compelled to drop in. And you start telling me about the show, the reality show, Bummed Out to Blissed Out, that you had put together years ago. And you're sort of like instantly, guys, Athena's like, so Brandon, this new show, I just saw the trailer. Super cool. What kind of help do you need? You looking for investors? I did a show. And I'm like, what? Okay, hold on. Who is this? What's going on here? And, we fast forward probably spending 6 to 8 hours together since, it's looking everyone like Athena is meant to come in as a, sort of the right-hand woman for me of all the things that are going here. And she has a lot of experience, MBA, super bright, can do a lot of the business stuff that, I need assistance with, and, as a potential investor. And so we're still exploring those conversations. It's pretty fresh, but it's been really cool to see the synchronicities of it too. Like, Athena has the same destiny card as my son Bradley, a 6 of Hearts, which if you look up King of Hearts, which I am, and 6 of Hearts, it's like, this is like a soulmate destined match, And of course, I'd seen that with Bradley before. Only 3 birthdays have it. Mm-hmm. Yours, which is Christmas. Bradley's was October 29th, and one other. And so Christmas is another, big thing for me. You guys might remember a while back when I talked about the getting in a very heightened state just before moving into the Mystic Manor, and then showing up in June on my front desk was a Merry Christmas canvas, hand-painted, sitting there out of nowhere, after I just talked about gifts and, all the gifts in life and like being super elevated state. And then coming home in June, and there's a Christmas picture on my front porch that something had put there. So when you're like, I'm thinking, okay, maybe this woman is a gift, and so anyway, I just wanted to give you guys the quick backstory on sort of how Athena, and then today we were going to meet to discuss things. I'm like, I'm just pulling you into the show.
Oh gosh. Yeah. How fun is that? And I really want to say, I've just been through this journey, and a journey is kind of where the road narrows, and a lot of things had fallen off, and right at a crossroads in my life, and trying to decide what I want to do. And when one narrows one's life and narrows one's focus for cleansing and clarity, you have to drop your baggage. And then you drop your baggage, and then the next thing to do is stay humble. And so I dropped my baggage, just staying so humble and so grateful that I've been welcomed into this community. It's my life's work. And I'm just really, really so very grateful and so very humble that I can share a lot of I think wisdom, because when you have pain and you transform and transmute that pain back into living, loving light, then you're wise. And I changed my name in 2011 to Athena because I have turned into the goddess of wisdom. And I'll tell you, the Christmas thing, to circle back, I was born on Christmas and they named me Toy because you get toys for Christmas.
Man.
I'll tell you, growing up, it was quite painful because I felt like I was the universe's toy and all these bad, terrible, horrible things happened to me, and I just thought, well, I'm just being played with by God, and I just had this whole concept of just not just feeling so played with by the universe. And I made a contract on a book I wrote called 51%. Anyway, I wrote a contract with God. I was so fed up with it after my house flooded, along with 100,000 other things. And I made a contract with God, and I called it 51%, saying, you know what, God? You're going to be 51% in control of me now. Everything I say and do is going to be in your service. And so if some other tragedy happens, it's going to happen to you more than it happens to me.
You're the equity holder.
So there you go. So Brandon, now I will fast forward. Okay, you and me. All right. Now, I've had a backstory, folks. I have.
That's an understatement.
What's that?
You having a backstory?
Yeah. Well, this is one. Well, this is a backstory for the last 6 hours. How about that?
Fair enough.
You told me you like to keep this show fresh, boyfriend. This is fresh out of the oven. It's still hot.
It's still warm.
It's still a bacon. All right, people, fasten your seatbelts. Anyway, so. During this time of transition, I stumbled in here to listen to my girlfriend do a talk, and we were going to go out and have some wine. I mean, that was the whole thing last Wednesday. And then I walk in here and I feel like I'm blasted literally to another planet. I meet Brandon, I meet the whole place. It's like I'd known everybody forever. It was like a time warp. It was flat time. Anyway, past, present, future was all in one synergistic thing. Well, I had plans with my best friend who has been my soulmate for 7 years, and I always introduce her as the person I never want to live without. Aww. She has, been with me for 7 years. We go out 3 times a week, whatever. So I called her last Wednesday. I said, listen, my girlfriend's in town. She's teaching a class. Can we postpone our dinner arrangement? Yes. Okay, sure. Great. All right. So I came, then I meet Brandon and the whole whirlwind and this and this and this, and we're discussing all these possibilities, watching the universe unfold, watching synchronicities, turning into each other's energy field, going into the multiverse together, vibing, tribing, and but my girlfriend said, okay, call me. We'll get together this weekend. Okay, great. So I call her this weekend. Nope. Oh, sorry, Athena, I went out of town. Okay, no problem. Call me Monday. Okay. So I call her on Monday, today, and I said, hey, when do you want to go to dinner? And that's what I was going to ask her. And she didn't answer the phone, but the phone answered. And I guess she touched it to turn off the ringer in her purse. I don't know what she did. But all of a sudden, I am now listening to her on a landline speak to another woman that I had introduced her to. So it was a triangle friendship. And they were talking such horrible and hateful things about me. My jaw literally dropped to the ground and I gasped. And then I looked and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want them to hear me. So I hit mute on my end, and I'm breathing and I'm crying and I'm like, what is happening? What is happening? And then all of a sudden, as if a lightning bolt hit me, it was like, Athena, what is your heart's desire? You wrote it down last night. What have you told us? I've got 12 guys. Half men, half women, half adults, half children, and they're all now yelling at me. What have we been telling you? And I'm like, okay. And when they all sing in unison, it's like a beautiful choir, but they're all very direct, and it bypasses my intellectual mind. It's like the Gestalt theory. It bypasses my intellectual mind and goes directly to my heart. And all of a sudden, I felt such peace that passes all understanding, because I am light. And I thought, but that was a painful human experience. And I mean, this is fresh, happened to me 3 hours ago. So I want to encourage anybody out there. If you've had a breakup, if something's been shaken up at work, if you've been betrayed, if you feel lonely, if whatever, I really, really, really encourage you to go into that sacred space of love and light. And if you don't know how to do it, if you're a beginner, just sit in silence and don't think about anything. And the second that you're not thinking about anything is when you allow the download right from the fifth dimension, from the multiverse, into your heart. You don't think, you don't think, you don't think. You feel, you soak it in, you come out of your little teeny tiny new meditation, and you're different. And you're different, and you concentrate on the love and light. Okay, now, fast forward. Here I am, after my little heartbreak, and my best friend.
I mean, this is the person you'd said, I can't live without.
This is
and
the
here
woman
they are
I introduced to it. It's
smashing
like,
you.
this is the woman I can't live without. The other woman I could have lived without, but whatever. It was a three-way friendship. Whatever. Yeah. Wah, wah, wah.
Okay.
And so then, Brandon, I got a text from you, and it said, would you like to co-host the show today?
Aw.
And I burst into tears. I felt so validated, like I have a voice, and really like the Holy Spirit, like the Holy Spirit, the holiest of holies, opened up space, because energetically I gave her a lot of my mojo. You know, and where you place your attention is where you place your energy, and energy is the only thing that can affect matter properly. Matter pushing matter. We try to push this podcast or push this show or push anything. That's matter pushing matter. But when you have energy pushing matter, it's magical, and millions of synchronicities, like very sparkly dust. I like to work sparkly things because I feel like just remind me of synchronicities and how I want them around me, and you know what I want wants me, what you want wants you, and it's doing its best to get to you.
Yes.
And you just got to open up, man. Just open up. So I just feel so wide open. Just you guys. I mean, really. I mean. God bless Brandon. I've never heard about you, and I never heard about your podcast. And now I'm meeting 1,000 people. Like, oh my God, Brandon's like. I mean, I feel it energetically, but I've never intellectually known about it.
Yeah.
And so I just want all of you guys out there in Brandon land to know that I'm really, truly honored and humbled, and I want to thank you all for bearing witness, I don't know, to my pain today and to my transformation.
Oh, well, that makes me so happy to hear, because as soon as you that you felt validated being invited on the show, because of course we just met, but it feels like I already expressed, like, there she is. This is like my BFF. Like, I feel like such a new good friend. And regardless if we end up working together on Optimistic and you end up coming in as, being a partner and involved and all those things, maybe we'll come together on those come to terms on those discussions that we're just starting to have. Maybe we won't, because how I feel energetically, sharing space and time and everything with you is none of that matters. It's like I always trust it's what should be will be, as these guys hear me talk about all the time. And what instantly came to mind for me when you told me this, here's this woman that you adore now is like basically, putting you down for your interest in getting involved in Optimistic and talking, now her former show was helping to create transformation for people. She started a reality show, surprise, surprise, that ended up in some battle with other individuals, went kind of ugly, like my last business relationship you guys have heard me talk about. And so it seems like this could potentially be coming into your field as here's a way to, okay, let's try this thing again, but without lawsuits and trouble and, bad partners and the things you experienced. And of course, I've had that kind of experience too with my travel company before. So it's really interesting to just look at it and think, okay, well, maybe, this person that you thought was a good friend, the universe is showing you, oh, maybe they're not as good a friend as you thought. And now you've got 3 nights a week that are freed up to focus energy.
To teach here at the Mystic Mansion. I would love to teach my guided elevation and my I'm a spiritual psychologist. I went to the University of Santa Monica in spiritual psychology, and that was a transformational experience. And I'll tell you guys something funny. I mean, it's really interesting to know that how many hurting people there are, but literally I was spending more money in therapy than I would spend in tuition getting a degree in spiritual psychology. So I just went there because it was cheaper than therapy. and I'm telling you, a lot of healing happened, and I learned a lot of tools. And what a blessing it'd be to share some of those tools with people at the Mystic Mansion.
I think it's inevitable that that you're doing some of that, and yeah, it's it's been a riot, guys. I mean, we just launched the trailer. She walked through the door saying, "Oh, I did a reality show on helping to raise consciousness, and how do you need help?" And we're exploring that. Then my good friend Max, who I haven't seen in a while, says, "Brandon, I have this trip to India that $15,000 with Tony Robbins, energy healer guy who goes everywhere with him doing energy work on him, and it's in the Himalayas, and it's with these high level small group of people, and I want to gift it to you." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, what an incredible gift, Max. I don't know, universe, am I meant to go?" Like, I have so much going on with, here with the show now getting to the next stage of, birthing it into the world, whether through a network or, the steps of releasing it independently, and just more on my, as you guys have heard me talk about, more on my plate than I've ever had. And I'm like, is it the right thing to do? And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to do an exploratory call with the guy who's organizing it, the main guy, right? He got on the phone with me, and he's like, he starts questioning me, really feeling me out if he even wants me there, because these are all like super like high level people that are at this event, right? And he's like, "Okay, Max is saying he'd like to gift you a spot. Let me see if you're a fit." And I'm like, "Well, I'm doing this new show called Optimistic, da da da." And he's like, "Oh, I'm just about to release an energy, he does energy healing related work. I'm about to release a documentary with Gwyneth Paltrow on Netflix, in a couple months. And by the way, the name of the retreat here is Awakening Your Mystic, Awakening the Mystic." So I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" And it's like the whole thing is 5 hours a day in these caves and stuff where yoga was invented. All these yogis for thousands of years have spent, put all this energy and time and in the Himalayas, and then all these different, basically techniques and tools and things to fully activate your energy system, your pineal gland. And so I'm like, it's awakening your mystic, awakening your inner mystic. And I'm like, okay, pretty sure I'm supposed to be here. So I am currently, guys, shuffling to go to India next week out of nowhere. And it's just, it's very interesting how things arise that you don't count on. I mean, I have this big list of to-dos, and now all of a sudden, a lot of that's moved aside. It's like, oh, well, I'm going to explore what it looks like to possibly work with Athena closely. To now, I got to make plans to go to India, and it's like a lot of times life, what happens when your plans don't work out, and you just follow the threads of excitement and turn over, with you, here's your best friend, all of a sudden, like,
how crazy is that?
The universe sort of taking, changing the dynamic, obviously.
Yep. But I'll tell you what, Brandon, I got you. I got your back. Listeners, I don't know you, but you're all of my new friends. I got him. Don't worry about him. The stuff he needs to do, I'll get done. I'll take care of 3D. You don't need to worry about a thing. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm showing up with my heart. And
I'm pretty sure she's got her MBA, and like as someone who's had some, hundreds of employees, I know enough to know when someone knows a thing or two about business, and you definitely do. And and the idea of having someone that I'm working closely with that is a woman is really appealing to me. I had a lot of masculine energy with my rite of passage business stuff, where I went through a lot of hardship, and it was a lot of masculine ego energy. And so I've said ever since, bring me like female energy that's really savvy, in business. And, sometimes you see there's obviously in business, it's so much masculine energy anyway. So it's maybe a little rarer to find that, that sort of boss babe, if you will. And so
the boss babe.
You're definitely boss babe energy.
Babe. Oh my God. Who are you? Oh, I work at the Mystic Mansion. I'm the boss babe. Okay. What exactly does that mean? I don't know.
I don't know. I'll get back to you.
I'll get Brandon. I haven't gotten that memo from Brandon yet.
Oh no, Brandon's over here like flitting around trying to do anything except like 3D work.
I like 3D work.
I do too. And when it's not too much, as long as it doesn't cause me to sacrifice my ability to do the other side,
co-create with the multiverse.
Yeah.
Because people who've been like me, teachers who've been doing mindful work for a long time, we have a responsibility and a duty, not just a calling, but a duty, a soul contract duty, to allow the source to flow through us to be teachers. And that's all I ever wanted to be, was a teacher. Mm-hmm. And I have a lot of wisdom.
We teach best what we most need to learn. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm sure you learned a lot of it. From the stories I've already heard, you learned a lot of it the hard way.
I've learned from the life of hard knock. But you know what? We're not alone. Everybody has their story, right? Guys, we all have a story. We all have a story. You know what? Maybe I want to give you a special challenge today, and that is just take a look at somebody and wonder what their story is. Ask them their story. Maybe connect with them. Just this random stranger, lady at the grocery store. Connect with somebody, you know?
It's a great challenge.
Yeah, take yourself outside yourself for a minute and ask somebody their story. You might be surprised.
You know, everyone is acting rationally based off their view of the world, and a lot of times when that person who just like, oh, look at this a-hole, he just cut me off well, you don't know exactly where he's at, what he went through, maybe just he just got the worst news of his life. Maybe, you know, it's one of those things we're so quick to judge based off of someone's outwardly, you know, negative appearance or whatever. We can see that, you know, oh, well, that's not how someone who knows what's up behaves. However, you know, you could catch me in a moment of stress or anxiety or something and think I think my friend Johnny always says, oh, if I could only show the Positive Head listeners you at 14, you know, or some of the things you've said or done over the, you know, he's known me my whole life. And I'm like, I tell him all about it. You can't, you know, I'm pretty transparent, but, yeah, it's really important. I mean, I think the more we're willing to, be graceful, you know, give people the benefit of the doubt. And, you know, the universe is going to mirror how you're treating everyone else to you. So if you want more grace and more forgiveness and more acceptance and all those things, then give it away, give it to others. That's an interesting thing to really realize. It doesn't have any predetermined way that it shows up other than it's going to reflect you back to you. So you want more of that sort of, you know, rope, if you will, then give people a little bit more. And I think that's a really, really cool challenge actually to put out there. Well, this has been awesome. I love the impromptu. I mean, literally, it was like I was about to record, and we were going to get together anyway. And I'm like, oh, you should just come on. You know, I love the impromptu.
Oh, it was perfect timing because I just got a stomach punch from my best friend. I'm like, this is a great idea, Brandon. I'll be right there. Well, and the cool thing is, too, I live 20 minutes from here. I mean, that in and of itself is a synchronicity because L.A. is an enormous place.
Yeah. And if you are too far away, good luck.
Like God, yeah. No, so that's the location-wise, it works out.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Well, stay tuned. You guys know I will continue to let you know as things unfold. And those of you who end up here at the Mystic Manor, many of you are already scheduled to come. I'm pretty sure you're going to be getting to know Athena. You didn't even touch on all the sort of work that you do, but that's one of the things on our many topics to sort of work through is how we can integrate you into offering some of your, you know, workshops and your talents and gifts to this place is getting more and more where there's like more workshops happening, more like literally there's something almost every day and growing. So as the guests come, not only the things that I prearranged for them, but then there's like, oh, this guy's coming to do a sound healing tonight. If you want to drop into it, guests, jump in. Oh, this person's coming to do, you know, Owning the Darkness was last week out of nowhere. I mean, and we're like, you and I were hanging, that was the night we were hanging out, and we're like, what's going on in there? I'm hearing some primal, like...
It was crazy, because all these interesting people, I mean, the Mystic Mansion's a place where it's open for different, like you said, special people that come in. And so there's a lot of people, you know, in and out, and Brandon and I kind of ditched to go talk, because A, we just met, and B, we're just brainstorming like crazy, and so we were just talking, and like, oh, what is it tonight? Oh, primal screaming.
Owning your darkness.
Like owning my darkness. I'm like, I wouldn't be here if I hadn't pretty much had that worked out, but I don't feel like screaming anyway. So Brandon and I went into the other room and we're talking, Vibe, I got to meet your son. My God, I couldn't stop kissing him. I have a son that's 6 weeks older, and I just kiss him all the time. I can't. He's just like my little soulmate. And he's a Leo too.
Is he?
Anyway, so
Owning the darkness.
What?
Owning the darkness and the
Oh,
primal
yeah.
truth.
So then you and I are in the other room. We're just talking and vibing, and we're like looking things up and doing numerology and doing hearts and cards and this and that and whatever. And just really getting to know each other, being in each other's energy space to see if it felt like home.
Yep.
And then we start hearing these. It sounded like somebody was being murdered in the other room, literally. And we're sitting here
Aren't you
going,
excited to come to the Mystic
I'm like,
Manor?
I was like, man, maybe we ought to pay a little bit more advanced attention. I said, we could get arrested. Like somebody, the neighbors are thinking somebody like, let's have a quieter facilitator, maybe some sound bowls. I don't know, maybe just quiet meditation.
Yeah. You know, people came out of that. I talked to people that were in it, though, and I think it was a pretty powerful.
Yeah, it was.
It was a pretty powerful experience. The guy, Aaron, who does it, travels the world facilitating these workshops, and he was super cool. I really had. I'd like to actually go through it sometime.
I would too. I would too.
Yeah, it was funny though. There's definitely getting in touch with your primal self.
And everybody that walked out of there was just so glowing.
Yeah.
They were so happy. It was just, as an outside listener, it just kind of was funny.
Well, Athena, is there any other magic fairy dust you want to sprinkle on these folks before we leave?
Yes, my magic fairy dust. First thing that comes to my mind is what you're looking for is looking for you, and it's doing its best to get to you. So get out of your own way. And the second thing is, when you say I am, be really careful, because whatever follows I am follows you. So if you say I am sad, sadness is following you. If you say I am the magnificent emanation of the glory of the ever-loving God, source, light, Jesus, Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it, I am that emanation. So that follows me, that emanation. So I would encourage you to be kind to yourself and really watch what you say to yourself, because whatever follows I am follows you. Post that on your refrigerator. That's your second homework. Sorry, Brandon, I'm just coming here and giving your people all this homework.
I knew you were going to do it.
Sorry, but,
I knew it was going to happen.
Oh,
sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. Really, let's all grow together.
Here we grow. I really hope we have one spot left in November. Someone out there listening, it's for you. We have a few in December. Love to get you guys here. It truly is getting better week over week. And I think the alumni of the first 7 weeks have all been pretty much in tears when they're leaving. And I just, anything I can do to help facilitate it and help to get you here into this vortex of magic, let me know. You can, like I said, you can schedule a talk with me, calendly.com/talk with Brandon, and would love to explore, work out, payment arrangements, whatever, to make it happen. I mean, I've already made it. This is one of the things, Athena, I think it was you that scolded me about, I've had it multiple times. People look at it and say, why are you doing it for so cheap? And I'm like, I'm doing it as inexpensively as I can to still make it all work, because you couldn't rent a house like this, a room in a house like this for a week, probably for the price of this full chef-prepared meals and workshops and on the podcast and on Optimistic. And so it really is, I've tried my best to make it as much of value as possible for you guys, and in support of getting more of this magic out to the world. So thank you all who have showed up and all of you who are considering showing up. With that being said, I am going to journey on with my day, and I'll keep you posted. I'm sure you'll be hearing and seeing more from Athena. And anything you want to add?
Nope.
I think you already did it.
Love and light, blessings and fairy dust, everybody.
Till next time, journey well. Love you so much.
Oh my gosh, I love that song. I'd never heard that song before, Brandon, and I was just like, I love you so much. And then I think about my son, and I love you so. And then I think about my daughter, and then I think about myself.
Aww.
I love you so much. It's like your love to the world, but it's like reminding ourselves to love ourselves.
Aww.
Love yourself like you love the people that you love.
It's what I say, and so much. I thought we were signing off there, but I'm glad we didn't. It's what I say all the time, Athena, on the show is the number one thing. I think we all have all these varying agendas, but I think the number one thing we're all here to learn is self-love. And why do we need to learn self-love? Well, we're fractals of Source, right? And what is Source? It's alone. It's one. right? There is no other. So it's ultimately a story of self-love. So, and it makes me think I've had a few listeners send in videos of their like small children singing it. Aww. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. The fact that I had any part in, this epic artist, Sean Wasabi, made the song, but it's called Spicy Boyfriend. But, the fact that I had any part in that song infiltrating the consciousness of little kids that now sing it all the time. Like, that makes my heart melt.
It's so sweet.
Love you all so much. One last thing. I had someone who posted, on one of the every Friday with the guests we do the show, and someone and they always will sing it on the outro because they all love it too, and it's just like a thing. And so they're singing it on the outro, and someone posted, "Am I the only one who doesn't like that song?" So there is someone out there.
That's okay.
All right, everyone, journey well. Talk to you next time. And if you're feeling the call to come for a week retreat-style Mystic Manor immersion, remember to go now and book your time to speak with me directly about stepping into the optimistic vortex at calendly.com/talk with Brandon while there are still spots left. Otherwise, I look forward to co-creating magic with you at the Mystic Manor.